Hi there readers and viewers and listeners and everything else. We're back in Lancashire today. Simon Henley here, Farm Machinery Journal. I'll be here all day with Mr. James Rickard of Land Power Television, and we are playing Manitous today.
Gentlemen, hello and welcome to another review from us. This time, as you might be able to tell, it is the flagship, the top model pivot steer telehandler from Manitou, which is the MLA-T 533-143 V Plus Elite Spec. There you go, there's a mouthful. Always a bit of an alphabet with Manitou names, but they all mean something, those figures, which we'll go through in a little bit. But basically, headline figures are, we've got a 4.1 litre Deutz engine, which produces 143 horsepower. We've got a hydrostatic transmission, hence the V Plus in the model name. And we have a safe rated loading capacity of about 3.3 tonnes. So we've got quite a little bit coming up for you. Hopefully we're going to try it out on a few different jobs for you, just to see what this machine is like. Up first, what we're going to do, while the man is still here, while the main man himself, Mr. David Clark from Manitou UK is still here, we're going to get him in the cab actually and just explain this model, what it's all about, that kind of thing. And then hopefully once we've done that job, we'll find another job for it to do. We've got a building to muck out, as ever. There's always a building to muck out, so we'll do a bit of mucking out as well, see what this machine is like. And I think Mr. Simon Henley at that point will be joining us, Mr. Simon Henley from Farm Machinery Journal magazine. As ever, if you are watching this video on one of our social media channels, unfortunately for you, this video will probably run out in a little bit. But if you do want to watch the whole video, then head on over to landpowertv.com. We got the videos in full there, no interruptions, no adverts, nothing like that. You can make your own playlist. And we always put quite a few specs in there as well with the video about the machine and links to the manufacturer that we've been working with. So if you can, go and have a look at that on landpowertv.com. In the meantime, we shall crack on with this review, get through a few jobs, and we shall see what we can find. With the engine and transmission. So engine, you say we've got 143 horse on tap.
Yeah, so we're a 4.1 litre Deutz engine, 143 horsepower, obviously latest stage 5 emissions technology under the bonnet. Plenty of torque and plenty of grunt available from it, and that's then matched to the transmission. So we have a hydrostatic V Plus transmission in this machine, so full 40k road speed.
Yeah.
But being a hydrostatic, it does drive a bit differently. You've got some really nice progressive, smooth control machine for certainly around the yard, which is where the majority of these machines spend the time. But then having that V Plus transmission, it does have a lot of bottom end grunt as well for doing things like this sort of work.
So this V Plus transmission then, obviously hydrostatic.
Yes.
Is it just a single range or is it split into ranges? How does it work? What we're talking?
In theory for the operator, technically it's a single range hydrostatic transmission. In fact, the more you put your foot on the throttle, the system will work out engine RPM and travel speed and just push or pull to the best of its ability. Now underneath though, in the sort of guts of the machine, what we actually have is a single hydrostatic pump driving a potential 2 hydrostatic motors.
Right.
And this is where we get the bottom end pulling power and pushing power from.
Correct me if I'm wrong, at bottom end, low speed, that's when the 2 motors are working together, is it? That's when you get all your torque.
Yep, so those 2 motors are basically engaged at travel speeds below 19 kilowatts.
Right.
So like we are here
19K.
now on the 19K.
19K.
No, so yeah, 90K. So like we are now on the clamp doing 4-5K, both drive motors are pushing in. And they're just working as hard as they can do, and the transmission's giving as much as it can. And you can kind of feel it, you don't actually have to give it a lot of engine RPM.
No, that's it.
And it actually pushes away quite happily.
Yeah, well, I'm only just tickling the throttle here. I'm still in sort of loading shovel driver mode. I'm hovering over the brake pedal, although I've barely touched it so far.
We haven't needed it yet, really.
That's it. So this hydro transmission then, are there any sort of, I mean, you say up to 19k, it's both drive motors are engaged, so above that one cuts out, does it?
Yeah, above that we have a clutch pack inside the gearbox that joins the 2 motors together, so that cuts out.
Right.
And we then put that second motor onto 0 displacement, so all the oil then is being fed just into one motor.
Right.
And it's that single motor then that's pushing the machine along up to your 40k travel speed.
Right.
There's an operator to give a bit of customization. You have on the side console a switch to change the characteristic of your drive.
Right. So that's this one here with the pallet
That's the one with pallet fork on.
Yeah.
So in pallet fork mode, the transmission's backed off a little bit.
So if we press that.
Yeah, you know what we call handling mode. So it's mainly used for shifting pallets around the yard, light duty work. And what you actually end up with is a bit more engine RPM versus
go.
Yeah, you're having to push it harder now to physically make the machine go faster.
So it's kind of dulled down the transmission basically, so you can do more precise work.
Yeah.
Right, got you.
And if you're moving bales in the yard, but you don't really need full grunt from the transmission, it's probably not a bad mode to be. And you've got
higher rev, lower torque.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn that off if you want.
Put it in the other mode if you want to.
Right, there we go. Keep the rev down.
So in the other mode, we've now got this kind of like our bucket mode, really, I suppose, or dynamic mode as we call it.
So that's on here.
Dynamic mode on the transmission.
All right.
Is the other one.
So now that that's not lit up, we're in this.
We're in the higher performance mode, really. So the transmission is going to give as hard as it can do for as low as RPM as it can, really.
Right.
And again, ideal for this type of thing, maybe loading muck in a field, pulling a trailer, that sort of work.
That's it. And then we've got this dial here, surrounded by this orange decal.
Yes.
That's a speed limiter, is that?
Yeah, it's just a very simple speed limiter. So rather than burying it in a menu through the dashboard, it's a simple dial on the side console. You can turn it up and down whenever you want to. And the machine will then just be limited to the speed that's on the dashboard. So the minute you're on clamp work, we've set that to 8k, and that's just given us nice control, stopping the machine flying off backwards when we're going down.